Imagine, for a moment, that you are holding a glass of water. It's not very heavy, is it? You can hold it easily for a minute. But what happens if you hold it for an entire day? Your arm begins to ache, it becomes numb, and eventually, you feel paralyzed. The weight of the glass hasn't changed, but the longer you hold it, the heavier it becomes. Your worries are exactly like that glass of water. Carry them for a moment, and they are manageable. But carry them with you 24 hours a day, to work, to dinner, to bed, and they will paralyze you. Welcome to Buddha Coha. If you are tired of carrying this invisible weight, you have come to the right place. Today, we are not just going to talk about anxiety, we are going to learn the ancient Zen art of finally putting the glass down. Part 1. The present moment is the only safe place. The story of the monk and the tiger. Let me tell you a story that has been passed down through generations of monks. There was once a young novice monk named Kale. Kale was brilliant and dedicated, but he was plagued by a restless mind. He worried about his meditation posture. He worried about whether the kitchen would have enough rice for winter. He worried about illness, about aging, about whether he would ever achieve enlightenment. His mind was a storm that never settled. One day, seeing Kale pacing anxiously in the garden, his elderly master called him over. "Kale," the master said softly, "why do you carry such a heavy burden when your hands are empty?" "Master," Kale replied, his voice trembling, "I am afraid. I see dangers everywhere. I see sickness coming. I see storms approaching. I see my own failure. How can I be at peace when there is so much to fear?" The master nodded and asked, "Tell me, Kale, is the tiger biting your leg right now?" Kale looked down, confused. "No, master. There is no tiger." "Is the temple burning down right now?" "No, master. The temple is quiet." "Are you starving right now?" "No, master, I just ate." The master smiled, a smile as calm as a deep lake. "Then, my son, you are not suffering from reality. You are suffering from your imagination. You are fighting battles that haven't started. You are running from tigers that do not exist. You have abandoned the safety of the present moment to live in a nightmare of your own creation." The meaning, worry is an illusion. This story pierces the heart of our modern anxiety. We live in a world that is safer than ever before, yet our internal world is a battlefield. The Buddha taught that there are two kinds of suffering. There is physical pain, which is inevitable. And then there is mental suffering, which is optional. Worry is the mind's way of trying to control the uncontrollable. We think that if we worry enough, we can prevent bad things from happening. We treat worry like a talisman, a shield. We think, if I don't worry, I won't be prepared. But let's look at this deeply. Does worrying about the weather change the forecast? Does worrying about a difficult conversation make the other person kinder? No. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it only empties today of its strength. Worry pulls you out of the now, the only place where life actually exists, and drags you into a ghost world. When you worry, you are hallucinating. You are feeling the emotions of a catastrophe that has not happened. Your body reacts, your heart races, your palms sweat, your cortisol spikes, as if the tiger is biting you right now. But the tiger isn't there. Application: finding refuge in reality. So, how do we stop this? How do we return to the safety of the now? We must learn to use the refuge of reality. The present moment is the only place where you are safe. Why? Because you can handle the present. You can handle a flat tire. You can handle a rude email. You can handle a headache. You have the resources to deal with what is happening right now. But you cannot handle what might happen. You cannot handle the future because it doesn't exist yet. Try this practice. The next time you feel the spiral of anxiety, stop. Look around the room. Name 3 things you can see. Name 3 sounds you can hear. Feel the sensation of your feet on the floor. Ask yourself the master's question: is the tiger biting me right now? In 99% of cases, the answer is no. You are warm. You are breathing. You are okay. Return to the data of your senses, and you will find that the present moment is a peaceful island in the ocean of your thoughts. Part 2, the second arrow, stop arguing with reality. The parable of the second arrow. The Buddha often spoke of the 2 arrows. He said, if a person is struck by an arrow, is it painful? His students replied, yes, Master, it is very painful. If that person is then struck by a second arrow in the same spot, is it not even more painful? Yes, Master, the pain would be unbearable. The Buddha continued, in life, we cannot always avoid the first arrow. The first arrow is the painful event, the loss of a job, a sickness, an insult, a rainy day when we wanted the sun. This is the nature of existence. But the second arrow? The second arrow is our reaction. The second arrow is our resistance. It is us saying, why did this happen to me? This isn't fair. I can't stand this. We shoot ourselves with the second arrow every time we argue with reality. The meaning, acceptance, is permitting yourself to breathe. Most of our misery comes not from the event itself, but from our resistance to the event. There is a formula for suffering. Suffering equals pain x resistance. If you have pain, let's say, a level 5 pain, and your resistance is 0, you accept it completely, your suffering is just 5. But if you have that same pain, and your resistance is 10, you are fighting it, hating it, crying, why me? Your suffering becomes 50. Acceptance is often misunderstood. We think acceptance means being a doormat. We think it means giving up or saying that a bad situation is good. That is not acceptance. Acceptance simply means acknowledging the facts. It means looking at the rain and saying, it is raining, instead of screaming, it shouldn't be raining. When you stop arguing with reality, you stop the war inside your head. You put down the heavy shield. You stop wasting your energy on what should be and start dealing with what is. Application: release the resistance. Think about something that is stressing you out right now. Maybe it's a difficult boss, or a health issue, or a financial struggle. Notice your inner dialogue. Are you saying, this shouldn't be happening? Now, try to shift your language. Try to say, this is what is happening right now. I don't like it, but it is happening. Feel the difference. The first mindset creates tension. The second mindset creates space. Acceptance is the first step to change. You cannot heal what you do not acknowledge. You cannot fix a problem you refuse to look at. By accepting the present moment, you stop drowning in the river and start floating. You permit yourself to breathe again. Before we move to the next profound lesson, take a gentle pause. If these words are resonating with your spirit, if you feel a little lighter, please consider subscribing to Buddha Coha. By clicking that subscribe button, you are building a daily habit of peace. You are joining a community of souls who are all walking this path together. Let's continue to support each other. Part 3. Let Go of Control, the Farmer and the Horse. The story of the Zen farmer. There is a famous story that perfectly illustrates the madness of trying to control the future. There was an old farmer who had a horse. One day, the horse ran away. The neighbors came around to console him. "Such bad luck," they said. "Now you have no horse to plow your fields." The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The next day, the horse returned, bringing with it 3 wild horses. The neighbors rushed over to celebrate. "Such good luck," they exclaimed. "Now you have 4 horses." The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The following day, the farmer's son tried to ride one of the wild horses. He was thrown off and broke his leg. The neighbors came to offer their sympathy. "Such terrible luck," they cried. "Now your son is injured and cannot help you." The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." A week later, the army came to the village to draft young men for the war. Seeing the son's broken leg, they passed him by. The neighbors gathered again. "Such amazing luck," they said. "Your son was spared from the war." The farmer simply replied, "Maybe." The meaning, the illusion of control. We are obsessed with labeling things as good or bad. We are obsessed with trying to control the outcome of every situation. We think we know what is best for us. We think that if we don't get that promotion, our lives are over. We think that if a relationship ends, we will never be happy again. But as the farmer shows us, we do not know the whole story. We are reading only one page of a very long book. What seems like a disaster today might be the saving grace of tomorrow. What seems like a triumph today might lead to difficulty next week. The belief that you can control everything is the heaviest burden you carry. It is the root of your exhaustion. You are trying to play God. You are trying to steer the winds and the tides. Application: trust life's intelligence. Letting go of control doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you sit on the couch and do nothing. It means you act with intention, but release the outcome. You do your best. You prepare. You show up. You love with your whole heart. And then, you let go. You trust that life has its own intelligence. You trust that the universe is not conspiring against you, but moving in complex ways that you cannot always see. Peace is not found in controlling the storm. Peace is found in trusting your ability to sail your boat, no matter which way the wind blows. Stop resisting uncertainty. Uncertainty is where life happens. Uncertainty is where new doors open. When you stop gripping the steering wheel so tightly, your hands are free to receive what life is actually trying to give you. Part 4. You are not your thoughts. Observe like the sky. The metaphor of the sky and the clouds. Close your eyes for a moment and visualize a vast, open blue sky. It is limitless, clear, and peaceful. Now, imagine clouds drifting into that sky. Some are small, white, fluffy clouds. These are your happy thoughts. Some are dark, heavy, storm clouds, flashing with lightning and thunder. These are your anxious, angry, or fearful thoughts. Here is the crucial question: do the clouds hurt the sky? Does a storm cloud leave a scar on the blue sky? Does the sky have to fight the clouds to make them leave? No. The sky simply allows them to be. It has enough space for all of them. And eventually, every cloud, no matter how dark, no matter how scary, drifts away, leaving the pristine blue sky behind. The meaning, the witness consciousness. You are the sky. Your thoughts are the clouds. Most of us make the mistake of thinking we are the clouds. When a thought comes saying, "I am a failure," we believe it. We fuse with it. We become the storm. But in Zen meditation, we learn a secret: you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness that observes the thoughts. Just because a thought appears in your head doesn't mean it's true. The mind is a thought-generating machine. It produces thoughts like the heart pumps blood. Some thoughts are useful, many are just noise, old conditioning, or fears. Worry feeds on your attention. When you fight a negative thought, you give it energy. You make it stronger. "I mustn't think about the pink elephant" guarantees that you will only think about the pink elephant. Application: not every thought deserves tea. There is a beautiful saying, "The mind is like a house with 5 windows and a door. Many visitors come and go. You can acknowledge them, but you don't have to invite them in for tea." When a worry thought knocks on the door, "What if I lose my job?" Don't open the door and invite it to sit down. Don't serve it tea and cake. Instead, simply notice it. Say to yourself, "Ah, I see, worry is visiting today." Or, "I am having the thought that I might fail." Notice the difference. "I am a failure" is a heavy, defining statement. "I am having the thought that I am a failure" creates distance. It reminds you that the thought is just an event passing through your mind, like a cloud passing through the sky. Practice being the sky. Watch the clouds. Let them come, let them go. Do not cling to the white ones, and do not fight the dark ones. They are all temporary. You are the permanent, vast awareness behind them. Part 5, Impermanence. This too shall pass. The story of King Solomon's ring. King Solomon, a man of great power and wealth, once felt deeply troubled. Despite his riches, he was subject to the same emotional highs and lows as any other man. He called his wisest counselors and gave them a challenge. "Make me a ring," he said. "And on this ring, I want an inscription. It must be a phrase that is true in every situation. A phrase that, if I am sad, will lift me. And if I am too proud and happy, it will keep me humble." The counselors searched through all the scriptures and philosophies. Finally, they returned with a simple gold ring. Solomon held it up to the light and read the inscription. "For simple words, this too shall pass." In that moment, Solomon realized the ultimate truth of existence. When he was in the depths of despair, the ring reminded him, "Hold on. This pain is not forever." When he was at the height of victory, the ring reminded him, "Cherish this. It will not last forever." The meaning, anicca, impermanence. In Buddhism, the concept is called anicca. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same. The seasons change, the tides change, our bodies change, our emotions change. Worry tries to convince us that our current state is permanent. When we are anxious, we feel like we will be anxious forever. When we are heartbroken, we feel like we will never love again. But nature teaches us otherwise. No winter lasts forever. No storm lasts forever. The sun always, always, returns. Application: trust the flow. Why does this bring peace? Because it means your fear cannot last. If you are going through a dark time right now, lean on the truth of impermanence. Remind yourself, "I am just in winter. Spring is coming." Look back at your own life. Think of the things you worried about 5 years ago. Do they still matter today? Think of the heartbreak you felt 10 years ago. It has faded, hasn't it? You have survived 100% of your bad days. You have moved through every difficulty to get to this moment. When you understand impermanence, you stop clutching so tightly. You enjoy the good moments more deeply because you know they are fleeting. And you endure the bad moments with more patience because you know they are temporary. Flow with the river of change. Don't grab the water, let it flow. Part 6. Speak gently to the inner voice. The practice of self-compassion. If you had a friend who came to you trembling, crying, and said, "I'm so scared about the future," what would you do? Would you scream at them? Would you say, "You're so stupid. Why are you always worrying? Stop it"? No. You would be cruel if you did that. You would likely hug them. You would say, "I know it's hard. I'm here. We'll figure it out." So why, my dear friend, do you not treat yourself this way? Why is your inner voice so harsh? Why do you beat yourself up for having anxiety? The meaning: compassion over conflict. We often think we need to be tough on ourselves to fix ourselves. But you cannot hate yourself into a version of yourself you can love. You cannot criticize yourself into peace. The anxious part of you is not a monster. It is a frightened child. It is a part of you that is trying to protect you, but it's confused. It thinks danger is everywhere. If a child is scared of the dark, you don't punish the child. You turn on a nightlight. Your anxiety needs a nightlight. That light is compassion. Application: the hand on heart. Here is a practice for you to try today. When you feel the worry rising, do not fight it. Do not judge it. Instead, place your hand gently over your heart. Feel the warmth of your hand. Feel the rhythm of your beat. And say to yourself, quietly, "I see you. I know you are scared. It is okay. I am here with you. We are safe right now." Treat yourself with the same kindness you would offer a beloved pet or a small child. When you stop fighting your own mind, the internal war ends. And when the war ends, peace naturally arises. Self-compassion is not weakness, it is the ultimate strength. It is the solid ground upon which true happiness is built. Part 7. Joy is a practice. The strawberry. The Zen story of the strawberry. Let us end with one of the most famous and beautiful stories in Zen. A man was traveling across a field when he encountered a ferocious tiger. He fled, the tiger chasing close behind. Coming to the edge of a cliff, he grabbed the root of a wild vine and swung himself down over the edge. The tiger sniffed at him from above, growling. Trembling, the man looked down. Far below, at the bottom of the cliff, another tiger was waiting, looking up at him, licking its lips. He was trapped. A tiger above, a tiger below. Only the vine sustained him. Just then, two little mice, one white and one black, scurried out of a hole and began to gnaw at the vine. They chewed steadily. The vine was becoming thinner and thinner. Death was certain. But then, the man saw something. Growing out of a crack in the cliff face, just within his reach, was a luscious, bright red wild strawberry. Holding the crumbling vine with one hand, he plucked the strawberry with the other. He put it in his mouth. He closed his eyes and smiled. How sweet it tasted. The meaning: don't wait for perfection. This story often shocks people. How could he enjoy a strawberry when he was about to die? The tigers represent the past and the future. our regrets and our fears. The mice represent day and night, the passage of time eating away at our lives. The predicament is the human condition. We are all mortal. We all have problems. But the strawberry? The strawberry is the present moment. If the man had waited for the tigers to leave before eating the strawberry, he never would have tasted it. If he had waited for the mice to stop gnawing, he would have missed the sweetness. Many of us are waiting. We say, I will be happy when I pay off my debt. I will be happy when I get married. I will be happy when my health is perfect. If you wait for life to be perfect before you allow yourself to be happy, you will wait forever. There will always be tigers. There will always be mice. Application: eating the strawberry. True joy is the ability to taste the strawberry despite the tigers. It is the ability to find a moment of beauty in the middle of a difficult day. It is the ability to laugh even when you are stressed. It is the ability to look at the sunset even when you are grieving. Joy is not a destination, it is a manner of traveling. It is a conscious choice to notice the good, no matter how small. So, my friend, what is your strawberry today? Maybe it is the smell of your morning coffee. Maybe it is the sound of rain on the roof. Maybe it is the smile of a stranger. Don't let the tigers of worry rob you of the sweetness of right now. Eat the strawberry. My dear friends, we have traveled far together today. We have learned to see the tiger of worry as an illusion. We have learned to put down the second arrow of resistance. We have learned to trust the intelligence of life, to observe our thoughts like clouds, and to find comfort in the changing seasons. And most importantly, we have learned to eat the strawberry. You do not have to solve your whole life today. You only have to live this one moment. The next time worry comes to visit, remember, you are the sky. Vast, open, and untouched by the storm. Let's end with a shared intention. Close your eyes one last time. Repeat this after me, in your mind or out loud. I release the heavy burden of the past. I let go of the fear of the future. I arrive in the present moment. I am safe. I am calm. I am enough. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey today. If this video brought you a moment of peace, please share it with someone you love, someone who might be carrying a heavy backpack of their own. And please, subscribe to Buddha Coha to keep this connection alive. Go gently into your day. Be kind to yourself. And remember, the present moment is the only place where life happens. Namaste.